Afi Johnson-Paris and Manisha Patel are here with us today talking about domestic law. They're going to be taking part in For All Statewide Service Day on Friday, when you can talk to a lawyer one-on-one. Today, we're talking to them one-on-one and asking your text questions. All right, so this person is asking, do grandparents have the rights to see grandchildren in another state like Pennsylvania, for instance? Afi?
Well, the state where the children live would determine whether or not grandparents have those rights. So they would have to seek information from a Pennsylvania lawyer or wherever those children live, because that's the state that would govern that.
Okay. Manisha, this person says, how can I get marital property divided after the divorce?
So in North Carolina, the rule, the hard and fast rule is you have to have a claim for equitable distribution, which is the fancy word for marital property division. You have to have that claim pending before a court, any court in North Carolina, before a judgment of divorce is entered. So file stamped by the clerk of court. If that's happened, unfortunately, you cannot bring that claim for equitable distribution, marital property division in North Carolina.
Okay, gotcha. All right, this next question is alienation of affection for real? This is an old school law. Afi, let's talk about it.
Yes, it's a real thing. But you're right, it's old school. In fact, only 6 states in the United States still have that law. So alienation of affection is when some person, typically a paramour, but it doesn't have to be, alienates the affections of a spouse by interfering with a marriage that is a good and sound marriage of genuine love and affection. So yes, that it's a thing.
So it's basically saying, well, you're the other woman or the other man, and I'm going to take you to court over this to get away.
Right. Or it could be the other in-law or the friend. It doesn't have to be a paramour. It could be anyone who interferes in a good marriage of genuine love and affection and alienates the affections of that spouse.
Okay. Manisha, this question is, the daughter was born in Florida. The mom and father never married. Father is not in the daughter's life. Can the mother get sole custody in North Carolina?
So what her steps would be is to file a lawsuit for child custody, and in that lawsuit make those allegations, where the child was born, whether the father's been involved, active, anything like that, and go through the regular process of child custody litigation, and ultimately whether they resolve something in mediation. If custody mediation is waived and she goes in front of a judge, it would be for a judge to make that determination for sole custody or primary custody or anything of that sort.
My follow-up question is, does she do it in the courts here in North Carolina, or does she have to go to Florida if the father lives in Florida?
It has to be filed where the child lives.
Okay.
So the home state of the child is where the child's been for the last 6 months.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Not where the child was born, the home state of where they live right now. All right, Afi, this person says, my husband and I separated in 2014. I've moved back to North Carolina. He lives in another state. We have no physical contact. What is the best way for me to file for divorce?
You would file the divorce just like anyone else. You'd make a claim for absolute divorce. You would get him served, and the lawsuit for divorce would proceed right here in North Carolina. And our administrative office of courts actually has forms online that people can use in situations like that to file and prepare their own divorce.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so this person's asking about, does the 50-50 rule apply in North Carolina? Even if one party has not paid any of the bills during the marriage, is everything still divided 50-50?
I'll kind of start with that. That's the presumption in North Carolina law. The presumption is equal is fair, equal is equitable. And so that's generally a starting point. But before that, that 50-50 line can shift in one person's favor to get more than half or not. There are factors. And those factors are at the discretion of a court. So a judge who oversees a division of assets and equitable distribution claims. So typically that 50-50 is a starting point, but regardless of who contributed, whose name assets are in, that 50-50 can shift in one direction or another, but ultimately at the discretion of a judge.
Okay, and since we're talking about 50-50, Afi, you've had this question. If both parents have 50-50 custody, does either parent pay child support?
Well, it depends, but in most cases, there will still be child support under the North Carolina child support guidelines. In addition to looking at the time that's spent with each parent, the guidelines are going to consider their before tax income, other children that the parents might have, who pays medical insurance, and work related childcare. And so when you have all of those different inputs into the formula, it's rarely that people make the same amount, pay the same amount for childcare. All of those inputs are rarely equal. And so as a result, the calculation generally has one person paying child support to the other.
Gotcha.